Sarah's mom! Hey! Is now a good time?
Hey, Leo's mom. I'm on my lunch break right now, so it's fine.
Huh? Your lunch break? Does that mean you have a job?
That's right. I'm on my break at the minute.
Oh dear. I did have my suspicions, but it looks like I was right.
You were right? About what?
Your household is poor, right?
What? Why?
I mean, I get the impression your husband doesn't make much money.
Based on what?
He always goes to work in those worn-out clothes. And isn't a single room a bit of a cramped place to live for a family of 3? What's more, if your husband's on such a low salary that you have to work too, he must be a real good-for-nothing, no? How tragic!
No, we're not struggling to get by as much as you seem to think. I've been working at this company since before we got married.
Oh dear, I see. So even if you wanted to quit, you wouldn't be able to because of your scruffy good-for-nothing husband!
No, those clothes are a hobby of his.
Wearing worn-out clothes is a hobby?
He likes clothes with a damaged look.
That's actually a pretty good excuse. Lol. Oh well. I suppose that's what you get for choosing him in the first place.
Like I said, we're not struggling to get by as much as you seem to think.
But you can't make ends meet without the both of you working?
Both me and my husband are in positions of responsibility at our respective workplaces.
Maybe so, but a position of responsibility could mean all sorts of things. For example, being a factory manager at the biggest company in the region, like my husband. Oh, by the way, did you know he got promoted just as we moved here? It's hard to be a stay-at-home housewife in this day of age if your husband doesn't have a job like that, huh?
So was there a reason you contacted me?
Oopsie, forgive me. So you know how we only moved here a month ago? We were thinking of buying an extra cabinet and some shelves for the house. But we don't know where to get them. But of course, we can't go buy anything cheap.
In that case, how about checking out the furniture shop on the bypass? Naturally, they have domestically made stuff. But they also have trendy foreign furniture too. I recommend it.
Oh, really?
You should be able to get there on one stop from the bus station near your house.
You know a lot for someone so poor. Thanks! I didn't think it'd be nice if we went together, but that's probably no can do if you're at work.
Sorry, it's rush hour for us now. I can't clock off early without a good reason.
I see. Oh well, it can't be helped. I'm sure you could take every last hour you can get to scrape by whatever money you can.
I'm gonna head back to work now, so was that all?
Yeah, sorry, I kept you for so long.
Bye. Leo's mom, do you have a minute?
I do. What is it?
Sarah wouldn't stop crying when I went to pick her up after kindergarten today.
Oh?
When the teacher asked her why, apparently she told him Leo said,
You'll catch pox if you play with poor people.
What have you been telling him?
Oh, come on. Don't get so upset. I'm just teaching my son the rules of the world.
Rules?
Actually, it might be hard to understand for a low-income family.
Excuse me?
After all, I heard you hardly ever show up to our mother's meetings, where we all go out for lunch or tea.
Well, I'm working, so I can't do weekdays.
Which means, unlike me and the other wealthy moms who can afford to be stay-at-home housewives, You can't make ends meet unless both of you and your husband are out working.
I do my best to tag along when they invite me on my days off.
But it's true that your attendance rate is low. Basically, you use your job as a pretext not to go so you can keep the expenses down. You know, it's difficult for us to get along with people with such drastically lower standards of living because we have to be careful not to upset you. That's why I'm sorry, but please join a group of low-class moms instead.
Low-class moms? I mean, I don't really care, but I don't think you should be indoctrinating your children with your own prejudices.
Good grief! You just don't get it, do you? Associating with poor children is bad for my son's intellectual and cultural development. It's a parent's duty to keep a watchful eye and choose good friends for their child.
Oh, by the way, I heard you said the same things to Aya's mom because she's a single mother. You should stop teaching your children to discriminate against people because of perceived notions of superiority and inferiority based on how much money they make.
Yeah. If you're going to make comments like that, at the very least, wait until you've improved your standard of living to the point that your husband doesn't have to wear worn-out clothes. Sarah's mom! I see your husband's going to work in worn-out clothes as usual. Poor people are so tragic.
Good evening. Whether you insult me out of the blue is your business, but at least say hello first.
I have an example to share with you of what it's like to be a real celebrity. So I very kindly decided to message you.
Please, go ahead. Now that you mention it, you haven't messaged me in over a month. And you ignored me when I went to pick up my daughter from the kindergarten. Apparently, you were also whispering something about worn-out clothes when my husband went to pick her up after work.
Good grief, stop sulking. You should feel honored that a celebrity like me is even talking to you.
So, what do you want? I'll be getting ready for bed soon.
Oh, do forgive me. It just so happened that the CEO of the company my husband works for invited the two of us to go to his house on Sunday.
Okay, so what?
Apparently, it's a housewarming party to celebrate the completion of the new two-family house for him to live in with his daughter and her husband. All of the company's top executives are invited. My husband's a factory manager, so of course he'll be going. And guess what? I heard his daughter and future successor, the managing director, is the same age as me. I can't see any harm in us getting along.
I see. Well, I hope it ends up being that easy for you.
Good grief, you're not jealous, are you? I suppose being from a family so poor the breadwinner has to wear clothes full of holes. You wouldn't possibly be able to appreciate the inner workings of the celebrity world. Lol. Looks like the gap in status between us got even bigger. I do hope you can forgive me. Oh, I just can't wait for Sunday. Sarah's mom? What are you doing in a place like this?
Oh, Leo's mom, hey.
Not hey! How on earth did you sneak in here? You can't do that! A tough groveler like you shouldn't be mingling with us in here. On top of that, I just saw you being all pally with the CEO, the owner of this house. What the hell are you scheming?
Scheming?
Oh no, you didn't! Are you having an affair? Aiming to marry into money, are we?
Oh, come on. There's no way I'd do that. Your thinking's gone way off the deep end.
Whatever. I don't give a damn about that reason. Hurry up and get out. It's embarrassing for me as a mother of the same kindergarten as you.
Even if you tell me to go,
Come on, make it snappy.
why do I have to get out of my own house?
What? Don't talk such nonsense. This house belongs to the CEO of the company my husband works at as a factory manager. I know you're probably tired from living in a life of poverty, but I think your delusions have gotten out of control.
I'm not delusional at all. This is my house.
Didn't I just tell you?
This is the two-family house me and my husband had built, so we could live with my dad.
What?
If you don't believe me, why don't you ask your husband, the factory manager? They see each other all the time at work, both being executives and all, so he'll tell you straight away.
Executives? Huh? Wait a second. What you're saying makes no sense. What about the one-room apartment you're living in?
The floor plan does include a one-room studio, but there's also a 5-room apartment attached. Me and my family are living in the 5-room apartment. It was only ever a place for us to stay temporarily while this place was being built, so we moved out last week.
Huh? What? But I never heard anything about that.
Yeah, because I never told you.
Why didn't you say something earlier? How awful of you to keep quiet this whole time!
You mean like, hey, my dad's the CEO. Guess what? My husband's the managing director? We're hardly familiar enough for me to tell you every detail of my private life.
What?
Besides, would you even have believed me if I told you? Wouldn't you just call me delusional without listening to a word I said no matter what I told you?
No, that was...
So, not correcting you was intentional. It's enough for me that my other mom friends who I get along with understand.
Huh? No way! That can't be! You can say what you like, but I know you've already been excluded from the other mom groups.
Even since the beginning, me and those moms you got along with so well since Leo's first day at kindergarten were never friends at all.
Huh? But aren't the celebrity moms the boss mom group at kindergarten? How can there be moms you can get along with when you're ostracized from the boss mom group? Isn't that a little odd? Explain yourself.
You do know that boss mom is just a name they gave themselves, right?
What? It is?
Sure. They can come from rich households. But you could say they're a little bit quirky. You'll probably understand better if you just think of them as the group who doesn't fit in with the other moms.
You're kidding! That's how the group formed? But what about your husband? What about those worn-out clothes? Surely he had no need to dress like that if his wife was really as important as you claimed you are.
Like I said, they're made to look damaged. It's fashion. He wears them because he likes them.
What? Fashion?
My husband also works for a company as their fashion designer. They have a free dress code, so he's free to coordinate his outfits in line with his taste as much as he likes.
I don't understand.
By the way, the guy in the tailored jacket speaking to my dad, the CEO right now.
Oh, that handsome devil?
That's my husband.
No, that can't be. He's the man who wears the ripped clothes?
I told you, they're made to look that way. He is capable of discerning the time and place to wear certain things, so relax.
But...
Excuse me. My dad's asking me to give an address to the group. I have to go now. Bye. My dad called me over as I was messaging on my phone in the corner. As I gave my speech with mic in hand, I caught sight of Leo's mom quietly sneaking out. I did wonder if she'd give up, but at the beginning of next week, she did a spectacular about-face and was suddenly trying to make everyone think we were best friends. However, word of her attitude had already spread by then, so all the other moms had had enough of her. She even got kicked out of the self-proclaimed boss mom group, and now she's completely alone. On the other hand, our kids are getting along just fine now. I'm so relieved about that. A few days later, her husband, the factory manager, apologized to me profusely. After seeing his wife's line chat history and wanting to keep a closer eye on her around Leo, he decided they all move in with his parents. I am fairly certain it's not a two-family house, though. Good luck, Leo's mom.